Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm glad that you're here because today we're talking about UFAs. There is so much to talk about these days, and I know a lot of Canuck fans seem to be getting discouraged. Why isn't there any movement yet? Why hasn't anything happened? The recording of today is June 8th. June 8th. I get it. I'm with you. I want these players to be re-signed, especially my favorite ones. And so patience sucks. Okay. It's a virtue. It's something we all got to work on. But what I'm encouraged by is the negotiation process is happening. The rumors that are coming out are some of them are quite encouraging. I'm personally excited about a number of them. And let me tell you why. So a lot of well, okay. But anyways, back to patience. For example, why in the world is the NHL taking so long to start their NHL's final series? This is ridiculous. Come on, let's get going here. Did you guys know, and you girls know, that if the I wish the Vancouver Canucks were in the finals. If the finals were go to Game 7, I think it ends June 24th. June 24th. If I got that right, that's insane. I mean, July 1st is just around the corner, everyone. So I do want to, just before I start, talk about this warning. And this is where you kind of have to kind of buckle in, just relax, kind of say, okay, I got to be in for the ride here, because the warning is this team might look vastly different than last season, or will it? And that's why I want to talk about all these latest rumors, latest things that have come up. I know a lot of us have a lot of opinions on it. We also know a lot of it has to do or is hinged around what the decision is around Hronek. And he's an RFA, so restricted free agent. And so it's good to know that there is discussions, but this is the thing. It depends on who we sign and for how much. Like, even we'll have money for Hronek. Now, a lot of people are like, Hronek's going to be back. I mean, there doesn't seem to be a lot of movement. There's a little bit, but not a lot of movement there. Is he going to arbitration? Whatever. Let's stay with the RFAs. And just a reminder, everyone, if you take a moment to like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I love producing Canucks content that is passionate, realistic, and honest. Please follow me on my socials on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm growing the channel. I'm thankful for you. I love having conversations. I love doing live streams and videos, pumping out tons of Canucks content. Okay, so let's dive in to the players, because that's why you're here, right? Because it could look vastly different than what you're anticipating. The latest rumors is that the Canucks have offered Lindholm 7 years at $7 million. Now, that is not moving the needle. We need to understand that that is not moving the needle. In fact, good chance Lindholm will not be back. But the good news is the Vancouver Canucks are in negotiations with him. So great center. Like, I guess, yeah, he's not elite, but I would say he's great. He's going to be highly sought after. Apparently, the Calgary Flames offered Lindholm 8 years times $9 million, and he said no, thank you. Now, here's the thing. Why would he say no to that huge money? Because it's not all about the money, everyone. It's about winning. He has not even had a sniff at the NHL finals. Like, not a sniff. So where he's going, I think it's going to be, money's important. Term is important. Don't get me wrong. But I do think just as important is where he's going to play. Is he going to play in Vancouver? Lots of rumors about him going to Boston. Now, here's the weird thing about those rumors. How can these rumors be surfacing? He's under contract with the Vancouver Canucks. He cannot, I mean, UFAs cannot be talking to other teams right now. It's where the Canucks have all the advantage. So I'm not worried about Boston or wherever else he could go. Right now, we have the opportunity to sign him. Now, I do want to just say, before we get into it, please post in the comments which UFAs you think will be back, that you want back, and for even to say what prices you want back. I'll go through them in just a minute. But the last rumors are Lindholm, $7 million times 7 years. He's rejected that offer, is the latest report. I still think this is a good offer. 7 years, that's a long time, everyone. That's a long time in a contract. I don't love these long 7-8 year contracts, okay? Because, you know, Lindholm is 29 years old. That would mean he'd be 36 when this contract's over. That's a lot. That's a lot, everyone. We'll see what happens with Lindholm. I'm optimistic that the Canucks might be able to pull an offer there. I'm not concerned that we necessarily need him. I think we need a winger a little bit more. But I want to get. It'll be very interesting to me what happens with Lindholm. My guess is he's not coming back. Okay, but let's talk about my boy Zadorov. Okay. Now, everyone knows that I am fully on board with bringing Zadorov back. I am convinced he's coming back to Vancouver. There are I'm gonna do a video probably specifically about Zadorov coming here in the next few days. But I'm convinced. I'm convinced that he will be back. This is a player the Vancouver Canucks want back, and I believe that Zadorov wants to be here. He wants to be a Vancouver Canuck. He loved his time here. I don't think we understand, you know, you can chase money, but there's something about stability, being in one place. Now, the next person that signs him, he's going to be in one place. Okay. There's going to be a multi-year deal, but there's something valuable. For example, I know an NHLer, and he played on like 6 different teams, 6 different years, like 6 consecutive years. Very hard for the family, for the kids, all that kind of stuff. It's nice to have stability. The wives like stability. It's just how it is. They want to nest. They want to enjoy. I mean, maybe some like to travel, but I mean, after a while, it's not very fun. And it's not like he's going back to Russia anytime soon because of the things he said, negative things he said about the government and what's going on there. Zadorov is the kind of guy you want on your team. And can I just tell you why? I'm going to repeat this in the next video that I make. But listen, everyone, he's a playoff player. And I care what happens in the regular season, but I want to win a Stanley Cup. And you need to put on this team playoff players. Zadorov, everyone's like, don't overpay Zadorov because of recency bias. No, this guy is a monster out there. He's Drago on skates. He's unbelievable. He's everything you want in a hockey player. And his interviews are amazing. That's not why you bring him back, but they are. As fans, we love it. I mean, he's effective. He's good. Everyone's like, he's a third line. No, he's at top 2. He's better than Susie. Let's be honest. That's why they're offering him more money than Susie. He is better. He's a top 2, like the second pairing defensive. That's what he is. I don't see him. And even if, let's just say, for example, they post him on the third pairing. Who cares? It's called depth. They're going to roll 3 lines out. And we know that the Hughes line is going to be the most, right? So we know that. I'm okay with that. But we need the intimidator. We need the hitter. We need the guy who scores big playoff goals. We need that guy on our team. 4 times 5 times 4 to 5 years. That's the latest rumor that he rejected right before the playoffs started. I think this is a fair offer. I do agree. There was a lot of rumors that he wanted 5 times 5. I'm totally okay doing that. Also, I'm okay with him. The other rumor is that he's trying 6 times 6, and people are losing their minds. Listen, I'll tell you something. I feel like I'm going to be repeating this in my next video, but I would rather overpay, quote unquote, overpay Zadorov than to overpay in a couple days during free agency. You're going to overpay either way. And then people are like, well, I don't want the Canucks to overpay either. Listen, this just in. To get players, you have to pay them. Sometimes you have to pay them a little bit more than they're worth to land them. Now, I do think Vancouver's going to get a discount. I do not think it's going to be 6 times 6. I made a video on this. It's too much for me personally, just because of salary cap issues. I don't think he's going to do 6 times 6. He's 29 years old. This is the kind of player you want on your team. You just have to decide what kind of players you want on your team. I mean, there's a ton of small defensemen out there, everyone. You know what? There's not a ton of big defensemen that are cheap. That are cheap. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. I'm so convinced that Zadorov's coming back. I am not worried 1 second. Listen, I want to be very clear. He's coming back to Vancouver. He'll be back. Now, the other one is Joshua, and I'm not sure term or contract. Well, I have heard some things about contract. It sounds like he's asking in between $3 and $4 million. It sounds like a lot of people are saying closer to $4 million. Now, Joshua seems to be one of the guys that, excuse me, Alvin said that is kind of, you're looking for one of these guys. Like, this might be his career year. He might be on the verge of being incredible and keep going. He's a fan favorite, everyone. Again, difficult to replace, right? Difficult to replace. If you think about his size, his penalty kill efforts, just, you know, some of the scoring he had and some of the effective, like their line at times was with Bluger and Garland, the best line or the second best line on the Vancouver Canucks. This guy is good. He's got good chemistry with Garland, but he's underpaid vastly, and he's going to get a payday. Are you okay with the Canucks signing him for $3.5 million, for $4 million? I mean, if you don't sign Lindholm, you got to sign somebody, right? Maybe he's good. Here's the other thing about Joshua. Why did they just keep playing him on the third line? Why didn't they play him with Pettersson? If we wanted that second line, instead we go Mikheyev. Why didn't we? Why didn't you put him there? Not that Joshua and Garland had to be on Pettersson's line, even though that may have been the best option. Put Mikheyev and Höglander on the third line. I mean, I'm no coach, but doesn't it make a little bit more sense? Everyone's saying Pettersson doesn't have wingers to play with. Well, why don't we put Joshua there and Garland with him and see what happens? Or put Joshua up with Miller and Besser. But you know what? I think Rick Tocchet thinks he's only a third line guy. And if he's only a third line guy, you're not going to pay him $4 million. Now, I get it that Garland's making $4.95 million. They were hoping he was going to be a top 6 forward. This is the first year he's looked like a top 6 forward in Vancouver. And that contract's okay if he's a top 6 forward for just under $5 million. But that's the thing. These guys are third liners. How much do you pay your third? I mean, you can't go and pay Pettersson 11.6, Miller 8, all these guys, and then, just load up the wings with people with all these crazy contracts, and we've still only got out of this. We didn't even get out of the second round. Now, granted, we made huge progress, and I'm cool with that. And I do think we're going to make noise again next year. But we'll see. We'll see. So Joshua is at the $3 to $4 million mark. I'm not sure what the term is. Now, let's talk about Ian Cole. Last year, did you know that Ian Cole made, for one season, $3 million? Stanley Cup pedigree. He's got 2 cups. Unfortunately, he scored about 4 goals on us, not on purpose, but it happened to be 4 goals for Edmonton. I mean, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. I know that he wasn't trying to do that. I know some fans were frustrated. I'm sure he was frustrated. There's no conversation right now that that Cole's coming back. And rightly so. I mean, $3 million off the books. That's a free agent signing. I mean, this is where you could get like a Brendan Dillon at this money if you had the money to spend. Yeah, this Cole, I like Cole. I thought he was good. I was disappointed, just like he was, just like you were about his playoffs. I don't think we're going to bring Cole back. In fact, you might be going after guys who are much cheaper than Cole. And Cole, I believe, is 35 years old. If I'm right, let me just quickly look there. Yeah, he's 35 years old. 35, everyone. Yeah. So I mean, if you were going to sign him back, what would you sign him back for? Like $2 million? What is he wanting? But 35, like this might be the end of his career. Maybe no one else wants him. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with Ian Cole. But wherever he goes, it's going to be interesting. Last couple here. Got four more, but it'll be real quick. Blueger. I think that Blueger still is a guy that needs to come back to Vancouver. I think having the depth down the middle is really important. He only made $1.9 million last year. Stanley Cup champion with the Vegas Golden Knights, and was a spark plug for us. Perfect in the middle, perfect on the penalty kill. This is the kind of player you want on your third and your fourth line. He is exactly what you're looking for. You know, you're just thinking like, and then when with Garland and Joshua, he looked pretty solid. Not that he was a scoring threat all the time. He chipped in a few goals here and there, but that's the thing. Blueger is the kind of guy you're looking for in there. Now, granted, it all depends if we go get a winger. And if we go get a winger, we got to like start axing all these things. If we go get a solid winger, for example, everyone wants Gensel. We're not getting Gensel, everyone. If we do, I will be shocked. I will be happy, but I don't think we can afford him. But let's just say we do. Then you get rid of Blueger. Then you put Suter down on that third line as a centerman. I think he is the best as a centerman, not as a winger. And that's what you do. You go Miller, Pettersson, Blueger, and you get someone like Gensel on the side to play with Pettersson. I'm telling you that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. But you got to have other wingers. I mean, we are short with wingers so bad, right? We have a lot of holes to fill. I just did a video called that. Go check it out, everyone. It looks like this. It looks like this. Oh yeah, looks like this. Go check it out. So many holes to fill. Okay, let's go dive into the last few. And this one is the one that I'm still surprised at. Everybody wants Myers back. We know that Myers wants to come back to Vancouver. He has a house in Kelowna. He's lived here for 6 years already, everyone. Him and his family want to stay in Vancouver. It seems like there's a hometown discount coming up. It's going to be between $2 and $3 million dollars per year, and it's between 2 and 3 years on the contract. Very interesting stuff, if you ask me. Very interesting stuff. So, I think he's coming back. It's all about the dominoes. Once the bigger guys are gone, you're going to see guys like Myers be the ones that are being signed. Okay. Now, I don't know why you have to wait, because Myers is a right-handed shot defenseman. Keep down that side. Like, I think what's going to be, if we stick with Hronek, it's going to be Hronek. It's going to be Myers. It's going to be Juleson. That's going to be your right-handed side. That's my personal opinion, because you can't afford. I mean, Juleson makes like $775,000, and it's better than someone like Freeman, for example. There's not going to be Cole back. Who are you going to put there, right? So I do think that's what it's kind of going to look like. I mean, right now we have Juleson signed, and that's it for right-handed shot defenseman. So Myers, which is shocking to me, like, everyone, just so you know, like, I'm very thankful how good Myers was this season, but at the end of the day, he's had one good season out of 6. But I do think, just like how it worked for Zadorov, the Adam Foote, Rick Tocchet system made these guys have incredible seasons. And this is the kind of hockey you need to see from a guy like Tyler Myers. This is what we were hoping to see. Maybe the issue's been since day one coaching. It hasn't really been Tyler. I mean, it has to be Tyler too. Don't get me wrong. But look, I'm blown away that Canucks fans are still at the stage going, wow, I want Tyler Myers back. and he didn't have, like, he had a lot of good games, but he still had some real blunders. I felt like game 7, game 6, he was not good. But I mean, he had a lot of good playoff games. He had a lot of good regular season games. I was impressed. Everyone. Now let's talk about the last two. DeSmith and Freeman. You're not hearing anything about these guys at all at this stage. Not high priorities. I do not think DeSmith will be back. We have to re-sign Shelovs. So I think Shelovs is going to be the backup. We will find out, everyone. We will find out. And hopefully he will be. But DeSmith might still be around. I think DeSmith is going to get picked up by a team in the NHL and play significant games. And they're going to say, listen, he played this well in Vancouver. He's going to get, in my opinion, he's going to get between 1.5 and 2.5. And if he can get anywhere in that price range, he's going to go somewhere else. But I don't think maybe the Vancouver Canucks bring him back and they have Shelovs, DeSmith, and Demko. I don't know. What do you think about that? I don't think that's going to happen, but there's nothing out of the realm of possibility at this stage, everyone. We haven't spent a cent yet. So we'll see. And then Freeman, like, he was fine. But I don't see the Canucks bringing him back at all. And not that I think he's a bad player. I just think he's a depth defenseman, maybe seventh, a 7 or 8 guy on the depth chart. That's fine. But I mean, what do you pay a guy for that? And why wouldn't you have a guy like D. Petey coming up, defenseman Pedersen coming up? There's all kinds of D down in there that you could have there instead. Wielander has to be one of those guys that needs to be coming up, having some minutes this year. Freeman doesn't seem like there's a lot of room there. So we'll see. Everyone. We will see. So again, which UFAs do you think will be back? I'm going to go into the comments now. And Dell, by the way, first of all, Stuart was here first. Welcome, Stuart. Good to have you here. Dell says Z is the closest. Lindholm is the second. Dakota is third, likely gone. Cole and DeSmith are gone. Hronek will get signed by arbitration, then traded. I can see that happening as well. Bluger gets re-signed. Myers 50% pay cut. So you think $3 million? Okay. Yeah. Stuart wants big Z. He says hi. Lindholm to Boston. Why is that a rumor, Dell? Like, yeah, is Boston's interested? They can't talk to him yet, but they could be. They all talk to each other. Don't be delusional. Okay, delusional. That's what I should call you, delusional. They do talk to each other, but you can't tamper. Or you're in big trouble. Waiting for Ovi to break the record is a long time too. Yes, I agree. Victor, I have a feeling we are trying to re-sign Hronek and then Zadorov, since he's willing to give us a mild hometown discount. Victor, you could be right. Yeah, I love living in Nanaimo, my friend. It's going to be great. How come you didn't come to the watch party? That's what I want to know. We could have really met in real life, in person, my friend. You didn't come. So it was in Nanaimo too, of all places. We will overpay for Z. Unfortunately, a long-term deal means we'll have him for many, likely many. No, I don't think so, man. It is not the same situation as Tyler Myers. We've seen him in the uniform. We've seen him in the system. He is not going to play as bad as Tyler Myers. I do not agree that it's going to be many bad years. I don't to overpay for your subscription rates. Can we negotiate? Okay. Yeah, you can do $4.99 or $14.99. Take the cheaper option. I'm happy with that, man. You can do that one. That's what you can do. You can do the RevTrev membership. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. You should subscribe to the channel, become a member of Kempner Canucks. That's what you should do. Joshua wants the home run. Goodbye. Yes. Del, lots of comments today. I love it. Got to trust Rutherford to find another Joshua. I can't. I think we can. Joshua became great with coaching and the right players around him. Many teams gave up on him. True. It's a great point. Garland earned his pay this year, not the previous couple. Coleslaw passed the due date. Yeah, I don't think he's back. I mean, I thought he was fine. Bluger was a part-time with Vegas, full-time with Canucks. Enough said. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I think he should be back to Vancouver. Speaking of wingers, where's your wingman? Which one? Clay? Kenny? Joe? I've got a few. I like. So I'm not really sure who you're talking. Are you talking about Grogu? He's right there. Z could also tank with one good season out of 6. I do not see that happening, Del, at all. Not at all, my friend. Currently no games to report on. Are your rates negotiable for trade? Think about all the content I posted, Del. Let me just show you. Let me just remind you. I just did a video on Utah, naming the team. Talked about that. I did this awesome review and interview with Canuck Clay. That was fun. I mean, a lot of people need to watch. That is a great show. Very interesting. Very sad too. Trade Pedersen, just did that. I talked about our current holes with all these cap things. I'm talking about UFAs, RFAs, the mess of Mikheyev, and Natius if he's necessary. I think I've done a lot of content, my brother. I've done a lot of content. So, I mean, I'm not doing live streams. I'm not doing tonight's game 1 for the finals. My son's is his birthday today. He's having a birthday party. I think the game will be on in the background, but that's as far as it's going to go. Daniel, let Lindholm walk. He had off year until playoffs. I agree. That's very concerning. Even then, he only became solid top 5 player, but wasn't point a game or anything. No way should pay him $7 million plus for someone who was inconsistent. That I don't think you're wrong on that. I really hope, but Alexandra says, I really hope we keep Lindholm. We won't. I know we won't. He is way too expensive, right? But he still can do it all. What I do like about Lindholm is his face-offs and his defensive play, and that he can score. He can score. I just don't think you rely on Lindholm to be a main scorer, and that's the problem when you pay someone that much money. But I was really impressed that is the recency bias predicament we're in. That's what I'm thinking there. So yeah, everyone. I mean, that's where we're at. This is the negotiations, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention. It's like we're in negotiations. Like everyone's like, no, Vancouver's not bringing this back. We're like, I'm watching Canuck fans. Honestly get panicky here, and I'm not worried at this stage. And like Dell reminded us, we need to trust Rutherford. We need to trust Alvin. They've got a plan. And now every coach should have a plan. Every GM should have a plan. Every hockey operations should have a plan. So, but what will it look like? What will this? I do think it's going to look vastly different. But I mean, if we don't bring back Zadorov, if you don't bring back Lindholm, then what do? Do you bring back Joshua? Myers, I think, is coming back no matter what. I just had this feeling. You're going to sign Hronek, you're going to sign Myers, and then you're going to find guys to fill in on the other spots. On the left-hand side, you got Soucy, you have Hughes, and then you got to find a third pairing guy. Forwards-wise, I mean, who are you going to get? It's going to be very interesting. DeBrusk, I don't know. Dell's not going to be watching the finals, just highlights maybe. season ended 2 weeks ago. We'll possibly watch Florida's series clinching game. Okay. Yeah, a little salty still, I guess. A little upset. I know. It's just hard to cheer for anyone else. I mean, I just like cheering for the Canucks, but I do cheer for other teams too, just not like Vancouver. Anyways, I'm gonna head out. Thanks everyone. Saturday morning, doing this video with you. If you're new, hit the like, subscribe. Actually, if you're not new, hit the like, everyone. But if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate the support. I'm pumped about this offseason. I can't wait for the next few weeks. It's going to be very, very exciting. Hope you're all doing well. And have a good day, everyone. Have a great weekend. And of course, always, go Canucks. Go.